Good day. I'm Neal Kassell, the founder and chairman of the Focused Ultrasound Foundation. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share the Foundation's view of the focused ultrasound technology and the role that the Foundation is playing in advancing this technology to the point where it can help millions of people around the world. Focused ultrasound is the most powerful sound you will never hear, but it's a sound that someday could save your life. Focused ultrasound in its evolution is early stage, but very rapidly evolving, totally non-invasive therapeutic technology, that it is a highly disruptive alternative or complement to traditional surgery and radiation therapy, an entirely new way of delivering drugs and other therapeutic agents more safely and effectively, and of enhancing cancer immunotherapy. Since it is totally non-invasive, it can be performed on an outpatient basis, and it's one of the rare new technologies that both improves outcome and decreases the cost of care, as well as improving access. Focused ultrasound in its evolution is where MR scanning was 30 or 35 years ago. Most people have never heard of it, but it has the potential to revolutionize therapy to the same degree or more that MR scanning revolutionized diagnosis. And it is creating a new multi-billion-dollar non-invasive therapy industry. Focused ultrasound is the integration of two innovative technologies. Focused ultrasound, which delivers the energy to treat the tissue, and medical imaging, which is used to identify and target and treat and monitor and control the therapy. The way it works is analogous to using a magnifying glass to focus multiple beams of light on a point and burn a hole in a leaf. But with focused ultrasound, instead of an optical lens focusing multiple beams of light on a point, an acoustic lens is used to focus multiple beams of ultrasound energy on targets deep in the body with a high degree of precision and accuracy, sparing the adjacent normal tissue. Where each of the individual beams goes through the tissue, it has no effect because it only has the power of diagnostic ultrasound. But at that focal point where all the beams converge, there's a large number of ways which ultrasound interacts with tissue. Today, we understand more than 30 ways in which ultrasound interacts with tissue, biomechanisms. 10 years ago, we only understood 5, including tissue destruction, delivering of drugs and other therapeutic agents, immunomodulation, and so on. In the past, we viewed focused ultrasound as a therapy platform, like radiation therapy, a linear accelerator, or a surgical robot. But in the last couple of years, it's being viewed through a separate lens as a drug delivery or enhancement platform. Today, around the world, there are more than 170 clinical indications in various stages of research and development and commercialization. 10 years ago, there were only 5. Of the 170 plus, 30-some have regulatory approval around the world, 6 or 7 in the United States, and reimbursement both from commercial and government sources is just now occurring. So focused ultrasound is not a silver bullet, it's not a panacea, it's not for every patient. More work needs to be done to figure out where it has unique value in the therapeutic armamentarium. Well, because of the potential impact of this technology on so many patients, without exaggeration, millions per year, there's a lot of impetus to make it available in the shortest possible time. The problem is that the evolution of any new, highly disruptive therapeutic technology, from idea or laboratory research to widespread utilization as a global standard of care, is a glacial process that often takes decades. And the reason is that the process is extraordinarily complicated and inefficient and requires a large number of steps that have to be accomplished by a bewildering array of organizations in this ecosystem, many of which have different timelines for decision-making and different agendas, and many of which have to interact with each other. And in addition, there are another fairly daunting impediments, including lack of awareness and turf battles between different medical specialists and so on. We first got involved in this field 17 years ago or so. We cast about for a solution, a playbook or a model that we could follow that would shorten the time from laboratory research to mainstream utilization. But we couldn't find one. And that was the genesis of the Focused Ultrasound Foundation. So the Focused Ultrasound Foundation is a unique medical research, education, and advocacy organization that we started in October 2006. It is a high-impact, high-performance, high-technology service organization. Several years ago, we were recognized as one of the top 10 medical research organizations in America, and the Darden Business School at the University of Virginia and the Batten School of Leadership and Public Policy teamed up and wrote a case on the foundation as an exemplar of a social entrepreneurship and venture philanthropy model. Foundation's center of gravity is here in Charlottesville, Virginia, but we have very much of a global influence. We've created sister foundations in Hong Kong and London. So the Focused Ultrasound Foundation's mission is simply to accelerate the development and adoption of focused ultrasound. We've positioned the foundation at the nexus of this complex ecosystem, where to advance our agenda, we use our reputation and currency, both information and funding. The way we work is on a quarterly basis because the field is evolving so rapidly. We examine the critical path from laboratory research to global utilization as a standard of care and identify the choke points or the bottlenecks. And then we deploy resources through a variety of activities and programs where we have adequate resources to overcome those barriers. The foundation has become the guiding light or the compass for the entire field. We do a lot of work to foster collaboration to break down those barriers of secrecy, creating evidence, rigorous scientific evidence of feasibility and safety and efficacy and accessibility and cost and economic value to satisfy all the needs of all the stakeholders. So the research program is the cornerstone of all of our programs. About 60% of our budget is for research. We have more than 100 active projects. So the foundation organizes and conducts and funds research in concert with academic institutions, other related foundations, and the manufacturers. We're interested ecumenically in all of those 170 indications, but where our team concentrates our mental energy and resources are on the brain indications, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, ALS, epilepsy, OCD, depression, pain, addiction, and so on, and cancer immunotherapy, with special emphasis on glioblastoma, DIPG, pancreatic cancer, and so on. We've established a number of centers of excellence around the world. This year, we hope to add one in China and one in Korea. We convene the community by organizing the largest and most important meeting on focused ultrasound every 2 years in the DC area. We have fairly frequent workshops. These are small, invitation only, 25 to 50 individuals, where we bring together thought leaders, clinicians, scientists, physicists, people from industry, from NIH, from the FDA, to come up with a roadmap of technology development, preclinical laboratory studies, and clinical trials, which will be used to create a new indication in the shortest possible time. In the last several months, we had one on ALS. 2 weeks ago, we had one on Alzheimer's disease, and in the middle of July there will be our 5th one on cancer and cancer immunotherapy. We sponsor a variety of related meetings to encourage them to have special sessions on focused ultrasound. Our website is widely recognized as the encyclopedia of focused ultrasound. Our newsletter comes out weekly now, and we encourage all of you to sign up for it. And we have a very active social media presence. On a fairly frequent basis, we host webinars on specific topics, whether it's focused ultrasound and psychiatric disorders. We write focused features and have a variety of reports like our State of the Field. We have frequent blogs and podcasts and journal articles and presentations. The foundation has a fellowship program where we bring to Charlottesville for 1 to 2 years mid-career clinicians or scientists who then go back to their home institution and have established a long-term basis for collaboration. We're very much eager to have 1 or 2 fellows this year from China. So we have 2 internship programs. The first is here at the foundation, where we have students come for the school year, and then we have another global internship program where we twin 20 of the leading authorities of focused ultrasound around the world with young high school or college students for the summer months. And again, we would love to have some interns from China. And then we have a variety of other educational initiatives. Awareness of the potential of focused ultrasound amongst all the stakeholders is essential for advancing the field. So we host a number of awareness events. We have a very aggressive media placement program, print, broadcast, and digital. Now, fields like focused ultrasound, highly disruptive fields like focused ultrasound, evolve exponentially. And in the last several years, we've reached the inflection point of this curve where the dialogue has clearly shifted from if focused ultrasound is going to have a major role in the therapeutic armamentarium to when, from if to when. And of course, the foundation's role is to make when now. But very importantly, in the last 18 months or so, the field is transitioning from what's been historically mostly a research and development environment to a commercial treatment environment. Last year around the world, there were maybe 100,000 patients treated in 900 commercial treatment sites, out of what we hope will be well over 1 million patients treated in 10,000 treatment sites within the next 10 years. So clearly, for the vision to become a reality where focused ultrasound is treating millions of patients around the world as a standard of care, we need successful commercial organizations, businesses that will manufacture and distribute the equipment. So the foundation has a program called FUS Partners, where we help with the regulatory authorities become a bridge rather than a barrier to the adoption of the technology. And groups like the FDA like dealing with the foundation because they view us as a trusted, independent, unbiased third party. We partner with the manufacturers to help them get reimbursement from both government and commercial sources. We have a curated list. Currently, there are 70 manufacturers of focused ultrasound equipment, 70. 10 years ago, there were 5. So we have a curated list of those manufacturers who are in need of financing, and we have a curated list of sources of capital, everything from seed to strategic investment, and we match up those sources of capital with the manufacturers who are in need of financing. We connect manufacturers with other manufacturers for strategic purposes. We connect manufacturers with academic research laboratories for technology transfer. The field is highly fragmented and is in need of a consolidation. Because we have our fingers on the pulse of all of the manufacturers, we're in a good position to help map that consolidation or rationalization. To execute the strategy, the foundation has constructed an amazing team of athletes. We've built the team with the philosophy that A's attract A's and B's attract C's. And as a result of a rather draconian ongoing reconstructive pruning process, today the foundation is populated entirely by A players. Counting interns, we have about 65 people. Most are located in Charlottesville, but a number are scattered around the world. Our board of directors is very active and engaged. It is not a philanthropic board. It is a corporate governance board that represents the interest of the stakeholders. Every one of them is active and engaged. And we have another sister organization called our council, which is like the Goodwill SWAT team, which makes introductions to people of influence who need to hear the story and people of substance who can help support the foundation. We have a number of partner organizations. We can assume that if the foundation never existed, that in 15 years or so, the field on its own will be fully mature and millions of patients will be treated around the world. And what we're doing is overcoming a variety of barriers that shifts that Rogers adoption curve to the left.
When I first heard I had Parkinson's, I was very surprised. I always thought of it being an older person's illness, and I've always seen people in wheelchairs, so I thought I was going to lose all my mobility. So it was very frightening. Walking I couldn't do because of the dystonia with my toes. I couldn't run. I couldn't go hiking. Basically anything that required movement, I couldn't do it. And my leg would bounce uncontrollably. It would hyperextend and actually lock backwards. It was very, very painful. I couldn't walk, so I had to be taken in a wheelchair to the hospital. With each treatment, I could feel myself getting stronger and stronger. My symptoms were getting less and less, and my pain was getting less. Then the clinical trial director, she looked at me and she says, "Get up, you can walk." And I thought, I can walk. I can walk. I knew I could. It was amazing. I got there in the wheelchair, unable to walk, and immediately following it, I walked to the room. It was a miracle. The Focused Ultrasound treatment has given me back my life. I've been able to go on walks. I've been able to run. Being able to ride my bike again. It was a miracle.
So at the end of the day, what we do is take our donors' money and use it to create Focused Ultrasound, which produces miracles by transforming disease into health and happiness for countless people around the world. Thank you again for the opportunity to share our ideas with you.